Namaste, this is Shakti, and I'm offering you a class to support you through pregnancy loss. This class is gentle enough that you can join this class a week after your loss and for all the months after that, where you feel that you need this energy and this support. So firstly, I'd like to say I'm so sorry that you are here. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this experience of bereavement, this experience of loss, this experience of the shattering of the dreams that you've had over the last weeks and months. So I know from personal experience how difficult this is. And I also lost 2 babies around 8 and then another at 10 weeks. And I understand how dark this is. So I also feel this is something that we really cover in our world and we don't talk about. And when you do start sharing you're going through this kind of loss, you'll obviously experience a lot of people opening up to you and sharing that they also went through this experience. So one of the words people use around the experience of pregnancy loss is miscarriage. So firstly, I'd like to say that, I really hate this word. I find that it really captures the essence of this idea that we have done something wrong, that it's our fault. And the simple fact is, when you look at the research, which is still really in the early days, most pregnancy loss in first trimester is really a kind of natural selection. So, the soul comes in and the soul leaves, and there's no real explanation as to why it happened, other than genetically things weren't working out for that individual, for that soul on this planet, and they decided to leave. There are a few tests and so on we can go through to check, if there's an issue with the cervix and a blood clotting issue and all those kind of things. And you can. There's a very small percentage of women that will apply to, but for most of us, really, we're in this kind of limbo of not knowing why. Some of you might have experienced a silent pregnancy loss, without heavy bleeding, and there's a kind of limbo involved, which is just so traumatic and so challenging. So I really want to offer you a class which is very nurturing and where you can just hold this space for what the experience you're going through, where you can connect to the breath and quite simply connect to the cycles of life. So as we really appreciate that womanhood is about being in the cycles of life, we come to the understanding that we are in this female body that has experiences which are so vast that can hold life and death, and in that same space. Obviously, there's another angle as I speak to you as a mother of 2 children that there is maybe a conversation that we can have around the idea of hope and the idea of it will be okay, one day you'll have a baby. But I really felt very angry when I heard this, because for me what I really wanted to do is just be in that space and just allow myself to give that time to being in the present moment. And whereas obviously diving into that darkness is scary, I also think it's necessary that we engage with what's actually happens in our life experience, and that is simply that we are in the cycles of life and death. And it is one of the extraordinary aspects of being a woman that we can have those experiences, that we can really literally hold both life and hold death within. And it's so profound, and we can't process this intellectually, so the yoga practice is on offer so we can process this on other layers of the self. there are powers moving through us that are not comprehensible to the intellectual mind, to the and for me, taking a deep dive into this work is really one of the siddhis, or the magic powers of womanhood, that we can literally be in this space. Okay, so I don't normally bring the iconography of the goddesses that I work with, but today I am, and I don't feel that I can do this work without the support of Chinnamasta. So Chinnamasta is the goddess of transformation. So when we step into this doorway and we have the experience of pregnancy loss, it's a kind of radical transformation. So Chinnamasta is the goddess of radical transformation. She literally has her head cut off, and we hardly recognize ourselves. We literally sever the ego as we feed our handmaidens and ourselves simultaneously. So we also be very clear that as a woman experiencing pregnancy loss, you're also in the postnatal stage. So, you know, this is very much this energy of transformation. It's a loss of innocence, and all those hopes and dreams that came to mind during your pregnancy are utterly shattered. So, you know, it's like a stepping through this really dark doorway, and it's very dark, and you know, it's very, very challenging to do that. You've transformed. There's no way of going back, and you can't go back to that state of the maiden, the innocence, and you've already traveled through this door. So one part of your life is now completely closed, and you can never go back to that, and that is quite something to digest. And I really appreciate how dark and how challenging it is to be in that situation. And also, if you're watching this and you've experienced more than one pregnancy loss, I also want to extend how challenging that is to be in that cycle, and it really is terrifying to move on in that cycle. But remember, you know, to drop deeply into each experience, be with each experience as its own unique manifestation. And you know, we do not know when it comes to pregnancy and to new life. We do not know where the journey will start, and we do not know where the journey will end. And this is so human, to be in this story of not knowing, to be in the cycles of life, and really to appreciate that we don't have any control over this. There's nothing we can do. There's no activity we can do which will cause this kind of experience beyond, you know, really extreme accidents and drug abuse and so on. You know, it's a very, we're really opening up the doors to something and forces which are bigger than ourselves. And as we step into this, you know, we have transformed. Okay. So all of that being said, let's begin our practice of really being where we are right now, however uncomfortable and challenging that may be. And this class will need you to collect a few things right now. So please just collect from your house a bolster, maybe a couple of cushions. And equally, you're welcome to do this class in bed. So, you know, you don't need to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a very accessible class. But if you are going to work on the earth, make sure you have a comfortable surface. So have this spongy mat and gather a bolster. I also recommend that you perhaps bring a candle, light some incense, place a picture, or just make yourself an altar space for this class. So you can go ahead and press pause and just gather anything you feel to create that space, and to really create that sacred space to drop into the sensations you're experiencing right now. Okay, so to begin this class, I'm going to bring you into child's pose. Okay, so this is a supported child's pose. So we're going to grab the bolster and place the bolster in front of the upper body. Okay, and then the knees can be wherever they're comfortable. You can have the knees together if that feels good, but equally it might feel better just to open up the knees. And then decide on your props. So you can either have one bolster, or you can have one bolster and a pillow. And just coming into a really comfortable bolster hug. If you're in a cold country, then grab a blanket or your duvet from your bed, and you're going to wrap the duvet over you. I'm filming in Bali right now. So, okay. So, and then come into this position. You can have any kind of choices with your hands. So you can have the hands in front, or you can come into the true balasana with your hands behind you. And just make sure your head is in a comfortable position. You can place the forehead on the pillow, but you can also choose to turn the head to one side. Okay? Okay, so you make yourself comfortable in your child's pose. And start to settle into that pose. And if there's anything now you can do to make yourself more comfortable, maybe taking the awareness to the ankles, adding any props for the ankles, additional support for your head or neck. Settling into this opportunity to be held. And start now to tune into the flow of the breath as we take this opportunity to be in the cycle of the breath. The cycle of breath that breathes without any instruction from our conscious mind. And as the breath rolls in and out, just bring the awareness into that breath. As we inhale, just notice the breath without any attempt to change how things are. And notice the exhale. And simply being in the cycles of life as you welcome yourself into this present moment with no desire to change how things are. And finding this radical acceptance of this moment as you journey into the breath. And leave everything that has happened in the hours and days before. Just leave that aside for the moment as you start to be where you are. And the mind takes a deep dive into the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Start to notice the back body, and as you inhale, feel a sense of breathing into the kidneys, expanding into the back body. Exhaling. And let's bring a little sound and release through the mouth as we exhale. So inhale, feel the back body opening and expanding, and then exhale into the sound. Releasing, inhaling, exhale. One more time, releasing, making the sound that comes naturally, inhaling. Releasing, sound down from the mouth as you drop deeply into this experience. And start to bring the awareness to the sounds in the room you're in or the space you're in. And just let your ears travel to this reality of where you find yourself right now, with no desire to change it. A radical acceptance of this immersion into the here and now as we step into the cycles of life through the cycles of the breath. And let's start now to deepen the exhale. So as you inhale, feel that expansion into the back body, into the kidneys, into the rib cage. And as you exhale, release, let go and surrender the body weight into the mat, into the bolster. And let's inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. So inhaling, back body expanding, rib cage 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Release 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And last time 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Being in the silence. So slowly now bringing your energy back into your body, into the sensations of your physical body. And then slowly start to come out of your Balasana, your child's pose. And just pad the hands and come to seated. And right now I'd like you to take a comfortable seat. So you might feel it's comfortable for you to be seated against a wall. You might just be seated at the back of your bed. Or you can be seated on a bolster, cross-legged position, or maybe seated in this straddling the bolster position. Whatever feels good for you. Okay, choose your seat. So let's start now to explore the balance of the breath and really travel into that ability to find that balance and equilibrium. And as we have stepped through this door, this transformative opening in our life, we come back into balance and really find how we can physically, through our energy practices, balance our life as it is right now. Okay. So taking the right hand, I'm not doing your mirror, this is my right hand, okay? And then we're going to place the right hand in this third eye space, so just between the eyebrows. We're going to practice alternate nostril breathing. So to do this is quite simple. So we're going to use the ring finger and the thumb just to open and close alternate nostrils, okay? And I'm going to just give you a demonstration if you've never done this before, okay? So we're going to, and I'll do the mirror now, okay? So we're going to inhale through the right side. And when I move my fingers, it just means that the breath has moved. So as you exhale, we're going to exhale through the left side. This is my finger going down, just means an exhale. And then we inhale through the same side. So left inhale. Switch fingers, exhale. Okay? So it's a square. So it's inhale, change, exhale. Inhale, change, exhale. And this is our sequence. Okay? When you do this practice, bring the awareness to how you're breathing. So you want to be breathing into the chest, into the rib cage, and into the back of the body. It's kind of like imagining your whole torso expanding and contracting like a balloon. Okay? You can also breathe into the belly and include the whole of the torso in the practice, like a full yogic breath if you've practiced. Okay? So let's begin. You can keep your eyes open, and I'm going to give the physical movement of my hands to help you. Don't do that movement. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes and travel within. It's your choice. Okay? Let's go. So placing the fingers in the center of the third eye, and then blocking the right nostril. Okay. And then we're going to start by inhaling to the top. Exhale, release. Inhale, left side. Change, exhale. And let's add a count into this. So inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same side, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, same side, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, chest, rib cage, 3, 4. Change, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Last round. 2, 3, 4. Change. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release the hands. Close the eyes. Return to the natural breath. Good. So rubbing the hands together, just creating a little bit of heat, and just place that over your eyes and take it through the body. Great. Okay. So let's work a little bit more about this traveling internally and just allowing the mind to settle. Now we've found that balance. Let's add in sound. Okay, we're going to practice the BIJA mantra. The BIJA mantra are literally going through each layer of the chakra system. So we're moving through each layer of the self and completing with the integration. Okay, so just really tapping into that fullness of womanhood, that experience which is beyond just the physical and which comes into all layers of the self. Okay, and just allowing the sound to wash through you. So just quickly, so we start with our root, lam. We move up to vam in our pelvis, come to ram in the solar plexus, yam in the heart center, hum in the throat, and om as we connect to something bigger than ourselves. Okay? You can close your eyes for this practice and just listen to the sounds. You can choose just to listen, and I encourage you to voice the bija, the seed mantra yourself. Okay? Yeah. So finding your center. Let's begin with your visualization right at the root of yourself. Taking in a deep breath, the sound lam. 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 The very root of the self. Lam. Traveling up to the womb space, the sound vam. 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 Draw your attention to the solar plexus, and the sound is ram. 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 The mind's awareness traveling up to the heart center. The sound yum. Deep breath in. Yum. 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 Lifting the awareness to the throat center, and the sound is hum. 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 And traveling with the awareness to the third eye space, and the sound is Om. Allow your awareness to settle at the crown of the head. Feeling wholeness, integration, and simply being where you are right now in these cycles of the breath, in the cycles of life. Dropping fully into the integration, into the deep awareness of being. Great, so slowly you're going to start to open your eyes now and come back into this space. Great, okay. So right now I'm going to invite you now to come to a lying position, and I'll set that up for you, okay? So you can choose to use two different positions. So I'm going to give you a choice, okay? So one position which you might enjoy, which might feel good, is to place the blocks. Actually, I'm going to put them here so you can see better. So you place the blocks, first one in the horizontal alignment, and then we're going to place the second one in the vertical alignment, and then bring the bolster on top of the mat, okay? So you're just going to bring the sacrum all the way up into the bolster, and then if you have a second bolster or a couple of pillows, you can just grab them now and just bring them underneath the knees so the knees are supported, okay? All right. And then just slowly lie back onto this position, okay? The chin should be free, so not into the chest, but nice and lengthy in the neck so it feels relaxing. And again, if you feel that it would be enjoyable to cover yourself with a blanket or your duvet in the bed, you can go ahead now and cover yourself and just feel really nestled and cocooned in that position. Okay, to come out of the pose, just turn onto the side and then come up. If you feel this isn't going to feel quite right, and really listen to yourself, then you can also just come into the side lying Shavasana, okay? So again, just come through on your elbows as you really treat your body with respect right now, okay? So we're not rushing into any movements, bringing the body down to the earth, okay? So you're coming into this kind of side lying position, and if it feels enjoyable, you're also going to take the bolster. It can feel quite nurturing to have that fabric in between. It just can feel really nice. An additional option, of course, you can add in a pillow under the head. I advise you not to add a really big pillow, just so that you're rested. Something small, okay? So 2 choices of reclined position. Good. All right. Great. Okay. So settle yourself in where you are. Allow yourself to really be fully comfortable. What can you do right now to feel more comfortable? How can you nurture yourself as you move through this deep transformation, this dark tunnel? How can you bring yourself back to nourishing yourself? And right now, in this stage of your life, I encourage you to do everything you can to give yourself time. Physically, to give your body an opportunity to pass through in this postnatal period with respect. Perhaps now you can think of a responsibility you'd like to fully drop out of the next few weeks, something which is reasonable for you to let go of in the coming weeks. Be that serving others, be that your work. Give yourself this opportunity to really be in this experience, to give yourself time to digest and rest. So if there's any body parts which could be more comfortable, just start to move slightly, start to adjust. Do what you need to do to feel fully and completely supported by the pose. And let's release through the mouth once again. So as you inhale, feel a sense of filling up, and as you exhale, letting go, releasing through the mouth, inhaling, exhaling, release, inhale, exhale, let the sound flow out naturally, whatever arises, whatever feels right. Settling down into your physical body and allowing the physical body to release tension. And bring your hands now to a connection with the heart and a connection with your womb. And being present for what is and what you have experienced, honoring yourself as you move through this radical process of transformation, having walked through a door that you can never walk back through. Honoring this moment of radical transformation. And simply enough just to be in this space. It is simply enough just to be in this space. And as we connect, I'd like to share a poem written by a mother who shares your experience. And now I'll share a poem by a woman who has experienced and passed through the same door. Robin, you were to have been the harbinger of our second spring. Your smile was to have warmed our late winter's chill. You were to have begun our cycle again. But you came too early, little Robin. Your wings too short, your breasts too tight, your eyes unopened. Still, our ancestry etched in your cheek and chin and brow. In the rainy autumn twilight you came. Too early, little Robin. You were to have been. Whatever arises, simply enough to be in that space. Whatever arises, simply enough to be in that space. Allowing every expression of your physical body to start to release completely into this mat and this earth as she holds you. Allowing the muscles to fall away from the bones. Allowing the muscles to fall away from the bones. And bringing special awareness to any body parts that feel pain, tension, the pain in your breasts and the pain in your womb, the pain in your heart. And may they all be held in this space by this earth. And whilst we have stepped through this door, knowing we are still held for all that is to come. As we enter this space of unknowing, of unlearning, where everything has changed. And as the jaw and shoulders soften, we drop the responsibilities for this life. As we no longer hold, as we no longer support, and we simply let go. And we simply arrive in the sensation of being in this space, in this time, as we step so deeply into this present moment, simply trusting the cycles of life, the waves that move through us, the waves we let go, the waves that have moved through us. Simply placing our deepest trust in the cycles of life, the natural surrender to something bigger than ourselves. And feel now a sensation of the shoulders deepening into the mat and of the muscles of the neck relaxing and letting go. And feel the muscles of the face as the eyebrows unfurl. Feel the forehead start to soften as the anxiety starts to melt away into the earth, and the head behind us supported by the earth below. Every muscle of the face starts to soften as we give our skull back down to the earth, and she holds us as our neck muscles release and our shoulders start to release the responsibility for this life, as we return to the cycles of our own breath. A deep softening in the upper arms and the elbows, and a softening in the lower arms, the wrists and the hands, for what they will no longer hold. And allow them simply to be in this state as they are. A letting go and a release. And the pain in the chest, the lungs flowing freely as the heaviness starts to melt away, as we are held by this earth in the cycles of life, and we dive deep into her cycles, and we feel her ribcage supporting our organs, and we allow the ribcage to soften as she holds. And we drop our mind's eye into the stomach and the colon and the whole of the digestive system as we process and as we digest. As we process and as we digest the unexpected, the deep loss. We allow ourselves to simply digest this invitation to be in the cycles of life and death, honoring our place in those cycles. And as our mind's eye moves to our womb space, we simply step into the feeling of where we are right now. And we choose simply to listen. Simply to feel her whispers. To feel her pain and to feel her loss. To be in her darkness and to know that you were once held in that darkness as all life begins, as all life ends. The knowing of the deep unknowing. There's something bigger than oneself. The darkness. And allow the mind's eye to travel through the pelvis, through the bones of the legs, to the knees that release all fear, the lower legs that soften and are held, and the ankles, and the small bones of the feet as they are held and nurtured and nourished by the earth. And now allow the whole of this physical body to be held in this space as you let go into the arms of the mother that holds you in the cycles of life. Simply being in this space is enough. Simply being in this body is enough. As you drop deeply, allow the breath to move through you. And simply be in this state of awareness, of deep relaxation. Knowing she is all sacred. Allow yourself a moment to be in this silence, to rest and digest. Slowly now bringing your awareness back into the body, knowing that this deep relaxation is coming to a close. Knowing that this deep relaxation is coming to a close. As you start to bring physical movement into your body, you start to move the fingers and toes. Just coming back into sensation as you move slowly, maybe taking a deep stretch through the whole body, maybe yawning, releasing. And slowly start to return to the self. And turning onto the side of the body and coming up to a comfortable seat. Great. Okay. So let's now close the class. So come into whatever position feels comfortable for you, cross-legged position, leaning on the back of the bed. Let's just integrate this whole experience. Okay. So I'm going to offer you a chant for the peace of all. And this is Lokah, Samastha, Sukhino, Bhavantu. So may all beings be peaceful and may all beings be happy. And simply integrating this experience. Okay. And just placing one hand on your womb and one hand on the heart. And let's find the sound that connects us to something bigger than ourselves, the sound of Om. Taking a deep breath in. Om. And then I will chant and you can repeat after me. Okay? Lokah, Lokah, Samastha, Samastha, Sukhino, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Lokah, Lokah, Samastha, Samastha, Sukhino, Sukhino, Bhavantu, Bhavantu. Let's chant the whole thing together, okay? Lokah, Samastha, Sukhino, Bhavantu. May all beings be peaceful and may all beings be happy. And I invite you over the next weeks and months really to take care of yourself, to not start with strenuous activity before you feel ready, and to give yourself the time and the space to integrate this major transformation. Speak to others who've also shared that experience so you can really feel you're supported, and I encourage you to open up to share your experience so that women are not feeling that this needs to be hidden, and that we can bring this transformation and this siddhi, this feminine siddhi, this magic experience that is deep at the core of humanity, that we can bring this into light and that we can be supported as we navigate loss, as we navigate bereavement, as we navigate suffering. And I believe this is not an experience we should have to hide. in order to be supported and to be able to navigate our own process. So thank you for joining me. This is Jo from Return to the Self, and you can explore my work in returntotheself.co.uk, and please do reach out if you feel you need additional support or you need a space to be heard, and I'm here for you. Namaste, thank you so much for giving yourself this time.